Hey, what's up guys, Jackson here at Toasty DIY, and today we're going to be taking a look and unboxing the MelGeek Made 68 Pro Plus. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to be honest, I already filmed like 3/4 of this video and it was all out of focus. So the keyboard is already unboxed, and in all honesty, I don't really need to unbox it again. I don't want to fake unboxing it because it's just typical stuff that comes in a keyboard box. So number one is we get a switch and keycap puller, and it's a little bit more premium one. It actually has like a good amount of grip to it because sometimes these keycaps and switches can be a little bit stubborn. But this is a pretty cool TKL style keyboard that, as you can see, we don't have a function row, we don't have a number pad, but we do still have our arrow keys, our whole home row, and then of course we have our number keys that are layered, so if you press function you can still get all of your function keys. This is about a $150 keyboard. They also have an ultra version which I think is $200, and it is pretty much all aluminum from what I've read. This, however, is mostly plastic. It does have like decent weight to it for the size. I mean, it's probably a couple pounds, and a lot of lighting. This thing is very, very bright thanks to the transparent keycaps. So they're kind of like a smoky finish, a smoky, like some type of ABS plastic, I believe it is. It feels like it's like a double shot or an ABS. A little bit of texture on each of the keycaps, but the actual side profile of each of these cherry keycaps are fully see-through, but with a little bit of smokiness tint to them. We do have pretty nice switches in here. Now this keyboard comes with Hall effect switches. The whole keyboard itself is Hall effect. You kind of have to pick when you're getting your PCB, but for 150 bucks, we're getting a pretty nice PCB that uses Hall effect hot swap switches. It can take any type, so instead of having like the 3 to 5 stem that you would normally get, where you're gonna have some electrical connections for a mechanical switch, this one has no electrical connections, which makes it a lot easier to hot swap, by the way. If you've never done a hot swap keyboard, you'll know that when you have those tiny little metal leaves coming out, they bend easily and they're a lot harder to get in and out of the keyboard. Hot swap's very easy typically. Now, it appears, let me go back to my page here, that we're working with some TTC switches, which is an actual name brand. They're TTC KOM in all caps, so I assume it's a COM switch, and pretty smooth linear switches, as is pretty much all Hall effect. I mean, because that's the whole point of Hall effect, is it's an analog switch essentially. It uses magnetism, and it can actually fully adjust the range of actuation. So a mechanical switch, you have an on and an off. It is literally, as soon as the little leaflet presses together, it creates a short continuity, so you're going to have on, and then when you let off of the switch, it releases that short, and it is now an open to where it is off. So with a hot swap, with the Hall effect keyboard, since it's magnetic switches, it is like a controller basically. Like imagine when you're using an analog joystick to where you can actually move slow, and then faster as you move it up. Almost like when you're playing a racing game and stuff like that. You know, when your right trigger, you're pulling it, you're going kind of slow, and then the more you pull it, the faster you go. That's how these analog switches work. It's pretty cool. You can change your standard actuation for those first-person shooters like Valorant and stuff, where you can make it to where the W to go forwards actuates at the very top of the travel or the very bottom, and you can even do multi-layered functions where maybe halfway on W is shift walk, and then all the way down on W is full sprint. That's going to be things like sock D and rappy tappy and stuff like that. All kinds of cool features where you can even have it like cancel out the previous input. But the long story short is you can do a lot more with a Hall effect keyboard than you can a mechanical keyboard. And $150 may sound like a lot for a Hall effect keyboard that, you know, is a plastic case, but after reviewing some of the name brand companies out there like Corsair and Asus, where they still have mechanical keyboards that are in the $300+ range, this doesn't really seem too bad to me. Now this keyboard does have actuation adjustment from 0.1 all the way to 4.0 millimeters. It does support rapid trigger. The keycaps are an ABS double shot. It of course is hot swappable. The layout is technically considered to be like a 75%. It does have 4-in-1 action keys for the dynamic keystroke. The RGB is 16 million in color, and it can do breathing, flashing, it can do strobing, really whatever you want. It can just do like the smooth RGB. Right now we have it set to a very cool and bright, crispy, static white, kind of almost like a blue in a way. And the keyboard itself looks like it's about 950 grams, so you convert that to pounds. But pretty cool finish. It's a very unique keyboard. It's almost like a grid-like plastic on the back. And then what makes this also unique is we have this giant light bar on the back side, which I will say, most people, you're not really gonna see it unless you're behind the keyboard like I am now. So when you're at your desk, you'll get a little bit of like I mean, honestly, it's pretty bright. I'm actually noticing it shining off my hand right now. So I bet if you game at night, I bet this will really illuminate the back of your mouse pad. It'll probably look really cool. We'll get some B-roll with the lights off so we can see what it looks like. It does not have adjustable feet. It's kind of like a one height fits all. You could buy pads and stuff to make it adjustable, but it does have anti-slick, and this thing does not move. Now, of course, it is a standard cherry profile. Looks pretty good, nice and ergonomic. And it is only USB-C detachable, so we can unplug this cable, but it is not battery, which most Hall effect keyboards out there, almost all of them are not battery. Almost none of them are Bluetooth and wireless because, well, for one, you're going for that fast 8K polling rate, which you can really usually only achieve wired. And on top of that, Hall effect uses a little bit more power than a standard mechanical keyboard, since each switch has to technically be powered constantly for Hall effect so that it can always sense the signals for each individual key. So that being said, just wired for now, but I do think that we will start to see wireless as the technology kind of gets refined. Another thing I have to point out is that this keyboard is 0.125 millisecond response time or latency. So along with the 8K, I mean, I think this is about as fast as you can possibly get with input on a keyboard at the moment. So $150, pretty cool. But let's see how it sounds with these linear TTC switches. So my final thoughts on this keyboard is, I will say, I am, I'm probably going to switch to a Hall effect keyboard eventually because I'm still just rocking standard mechanical here and at home. But I will say the prices sometimes aren't fully compelling to me yet, and the layouts. I really want to see some more designs with Hall effect. I generally have felt like most of them, besides like Iconix, they have a really cool Hall effect keyboard. There's a couple of them floating out there, but for the most part, I feel that the mechanical keyboard space has come out with some of the coolest designs with the screens and stuff. I love the look of them. I really love my Iconix keyboards, which are the OG 80 models. Look those up if you haven't. They look sick to me. I would love to see kind of that style keyboard where it's almost like that vintage typewriter look in a Hall effect format, or maybe Hall effect with some screens and stuff would be really cool. Some volume knobs. Just basically, I want a little bit more than just like the only gamer aesthetic when it comes to Hall effect, because I personally like a little bit more flair than that when it comes to my peripherals. So I think for 150, this is a good deal for someone looking for a Hall effect keyboard that doesn't already have a certain taste in mind, because at the end of the day, most of the Hall effect keyboards that I've seen are pretty basic like this one, although that light bar in the back is pretty unique, and it does make for a pretty bright light at night, and the LEDs are probably some of the brightest I've seen on really any keyboard, not just Hall effect, but any keyboard in general. Because of these transparent keycaps, it's about the brightest I've seen, and this is with studio LED lighting above me right now. We still have all this light shining through. But anyways, if you guys want to buy one of these keyboards or one of the similar ones, I will have Amazon links down below. They will be affiliate links, and they will help us out if you buy one. But let me know what you think down below. Would you buy one of these Made 68 Pros, or maybe the Ultra, or they even have larger keyboards as well if you check out their website. See you guys later. Peace out.